Yo, what's up? Check out my awesome game. I got a lot of work done today on the environment for level 6. Sorry, let me move this down a bit. Okay. So yeah, check this out. Isn't that pretty? This has got to be the most beautiful exterior I've done for any level so far, I think. It's pretty nice. There's a cool water shader effect. I'll show you that more later. Even though you'll have already seen it, future Matt. As you can see, I did a bunch of work in the rooms as well. Okay, way over here, I finished the roofing for the rest of the level. You can see I replaced all of the prototype blocking with proper obstacles, statues, and so on. So everything is good to go. And then I didn't get around to finishing. I was hoping to do this entire half, but I didn't get around to that. But I got a lot of it done. And I should have no problem finishing the rest of this level tomorrow. Right on time, so that I can start working on the showcase trailer. Let's take a look at the gameplay and some cool effects. Looks pretty nice, yeah? Nice little water shader effect on the pond. You can walk under the trees here. Still a lot of stuff that needs to be set up properly. But it's looking and feeling pretty good. The only thing I'm not sure about still is the lighting. I like it. Aesthetically, I think it's something different and interesting and it looks nice. The only problem, what is going on here? Oh, there's a slight gap. It's unacceptable. The only problem with the lighting is I do feel like it makes the enemies blend somewhat with the environment. I mean, I don't think it's too bad, so I'm going to keep it for now, but I'll see how I feel about it tomorrow after I finish the rest of the level. And that's all I got for in-game stuff. Out-of-game stuff, I wrote another script for my promotional campaign videos today while I was at the park. Still waiting on that final piece of equipment so I can actually start making the videos. Although I probably won't get to that right away because I need to finish making the trailer for the upcoming showcase first. But immediately after that, I'll get started on that. Very excited about it. Looking over the scripts today, I think finally I've got the final form after probably spending the last month on this non-stop talking about it and working on it. So I'm excited about that. And I think it's supposed to arrive either tomorrow or on Monday. Set up some more meetings with the other publishers that I've been talking to. Excited to see how that goes too. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, ordinary day. Went to the gym, spent time outside, did a little grocery shopping. Don't have too much to say. Still on that late schedule. Haven't been able to pull that back yet. I have noticed that having less sleep in my schedule has resulted in slightly slipping into old bad habits, specifically those of trying to get quick dopamine hits from checking social media out and stuff, but it's okay. The fact that I'm self-aware about it means that I won't slip into it completely. Gonna fix that up real fast. But I will also say, I know this is somewhat petty and stupid, but there's something about the phrasing of people always refer, love like dopamine hits. So people always referring to dopamine when describing almost any kind of incentivized behavior in people. Something tells me that the functioning of the brain is slightly more complex than being based on the levels of a single chemical. As a matter of fact, I know it is because I took a Psych 101 course that covered some neurology back in college. I remember learning about a hell of a lot more chemicals than just dopamine. But it feels like one of these pop psychology things where every podcast bro talks about it and you hear about it in every TikTok and so on. And so now everyone describes everything in terms of dopamine. Dopamine this, dopamine that, get that dopamine hit, do this, do that. I don't know. I prefer the traditional idea of just, you're using it as an escape mechanism. You're trying to distract yourself, entertain yourself so that you don't have to face the hard realities of your current life. You're procrastinating because something deep inside of you is afraid of something. That, I think, is a much more useful description than, I was trying to raise the levels of a chemical in my brain. What the fuck does that even mean? You know? Where's the humanity in that? There is none. Speaking of which, it's not directly related, but I feel like it's tangentially related. And I think it's mostly people in my generation who do this. But people who abstractize everything when they're talking about traditional human life things. For example, the kinds of people, this is definitely a millennial talk type of thing, which I fucking hate so much. It's stuff like when you hear someone who has kids and they say something like, I have 2 little humans. I have little humans at home. Like, shut the fuck up. You know? Like, bro, that shit pisses me off so much, man. Like, why would you talk about your kids like that? Be normal. They are your children. They're kids. My little humans. Adulting. Fucking whatever. All those different kinds of phrases people use, they piss me off. Just talk like a normal fucking person. I did a thing. That's another one. That's another common one. I did a thing. Fuck off. All right. I don't think I got much else to say. One thing I have been struggling with, I must admit, is as I spend time outside, I can't help, due to the population of Montreal, the demographics here, there are a disproportionate number of very attractive women. And that puts me in a mindset where I'm always checking them out and I'm always like, holy shit, dude, I need to get a girlfriend. Now, at the same time, I know that I shouldn't. I don't have time for that right now. And I also don't have money. So I'm in the worst position possible to be thinking about that. But a big part of the problem is that I'm in the best shape of my life, or at least I think it's because of this. I'm in the best shape of my life. I eat healthy. I do all that stuff. And I think as a result of that, I don't know for sure, because I haven't been medically tested or anything, but I can't help but think that my testosterone levels are higher than they've ever been in my whole life. And I just feel that in my general attitude and in my motivation day to day, and also in general having a much higher libido than I can ever remember having at any other point in my life. So it makes it pretty hard, because here I am being all isolated and single. And it's not so bad when I'm at home, actually. When I'm working, I'm motivated, I'm in the zone, I don't think about it at all. But second I go outside and it just, so many fine ladies walking by all the time. It's like, bro, it's annoying, actually, more than anything. It's annoying. It annoys me so much that I can't just get my mind to stop thinking about it all the time. I feel like it's some primitive, I mean, obviously it's some primitive evolutionary thing, but the idea, see, like, I have the higher level idea in my brain of like, bro, I gotta get a girlfriend. But then there's this, I feel like the actual underlying real feeling is, you must have children. You're 30 years old, man. You must reproduce. But I ain't ready for that, dog. No siree. So, I don't know. There's nothing to really do about it, I guess. I just gotta live with it. Maybe I'll try to meditate like a Buddhist monk and learn to be impervious to the feelings of lust. That's not gonna happen though. So I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I can't even. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's even a good idea for me to go out and try to whatever hook up with someone casually or something. Think that only leads to complications. So I'm in kind of a tough spot with that. But hey, you never know. As I was thinking before, I gotta get out there and socialize a bit more and hit up my favorite jazz club on the weekends or something like that. And who knows, maybe I'll end up talking to some people, meeting someone there. Honestly, even just making some new friends, because that's the other thing too, is I also wouldn't want to get involved with someone out of desperation either. That was a hard lesson I had to learn from experiences not in the not too distant past. So I also don't want to just jump into anything no matter what anyway. So I must chill out, keep calm, keep cool, collected. I must be stoic, remain centered, and just keep at it. Otherwise, I might lose my cool. You know, you gotta be very careful when it comes to selecting not only people you're going to get into relationships with, but friendships you're going to have and things like that. I feel like that's overall a big lesson that I've learned over the past few years. You must be very discerning, very careful about who you surround yourself with. And I think I have a very long history of surrounding myself with just whoever likes me, whoever gets along with me, and not thinking about who am I actually good with? Who am I good to surround myself with? Who challenges me to be a better person? And who do I actually connect with on the deepest possible levels? That's the big one. I also got to learn to get outside of my head. Probe more into other people. Be a little ballsy about figuring more stuff out about them. I think I'm still a little too polite, a little too nice in my interactions with people, especially strangers, playing it safe all the time. But I think the deepest connections come from when you're willing to challenge someone a little more deeply and ask them more probing questions. So that's something to keep in mind while I go forward and once I get around to socializing a bit more. And that's all I got to say tonight.